And in honor of Black History Month, the New York Times has launched a special edition of their Overlooked series. The project, which debuted last year, is dedicated to sharing the life stories of prominent people whose deaths had not been reported by the New York Times. This month, the authors are publishing obituaries for remarkable Black men and women going as far back as the 1800s. Joining me now to discuss the series is New York Times archival storytelling editor Veronica Chambers and Amy Padnani, the digital editor for the Obituaries section. Veronica and Amy, thanks to both of you for being here. I have to say, I'm such a huge fan of your new series. I've been reading it since the beginning. I especially love that it's highlighting women who've had these extraordinary lives who weren't otherwise noted when they died. You're doing a great job. This was your idea, Amy, is that right?
That's right.
You pitched it to the editors, and what did they say?
Well, it took a little
response.
Work. Yeah, it took a little work in the beginning. You know, it's a traditional desk that's very print-focused on just telling the stories of people who recently died. So this was more of a history project looking back, and it took a little bit of buy-in. But once we did, the whole newsroom was really enthusiastic.
So your bosses are happy now? This is considered a success?
Huge success.
Good.
I've heard the word blockbuster used.
Yes. Fabulous. I predict promotions for all of you. All right, so let's start with this special edition. Now, this is focusing on Black History Month, correct? Can you tell us, Veronica, about some of the notable people that you've included in this one?
Sure. Well, the huge thing about this section is that we added men. So, you know, one of the things that I think Amy realized is that it wasn't just women who were overlooked, that a lot of men who were marginalized for one reason or another, especially men of color, their deaths were never noted. And I think that one of the things that we say a lot is that obits are more about life than death. And so this is really about honoring the lives that these people led.
And how do you make the decisions? Because clearly there are so many people who've done remarkable things and who've led remarkable lives. Unfortunately, we can't print them all. So what does it come down to? What are the criteria you're looking for?
Well, I follow kind of the same process that we do for day-to-day obituaries, which is if they made news in their lifetime, chances are their death is news as well. With Overlooked, it's a little bit different. Sometimes they didn't get recognized in their lifetime for the thing that they did, but as long as they made a contribution to society or changed life for a group of people or the world in some way, then we consider them worthy of a New York Times obituary.
So can you each tell me a few of your favorites from this series? Veronica, let me start with you.
Sure. I mean, I think one of our big ones was realizing that Scott Joplin, the composer who really, you know, laid the groundwork for jazz, he was called the King of Ragtime, he had never gotten an obit. So we got the remarkable Will Haga to write about him, and I think that one is just a really special one.
That one resonated for you. Amy, what about you?
I loved Gladys Bentley. She was a star, and during the Harlem Renaissance, she sang these gender-bending tunes. They were very lewd and raunchy, but she was really well known for them.
She was a star.
Yeah, and she wore a tuxedo and a top hat.
Wow, where did she perform?
Amazing. It was called the Clam House, I believe. It's a speakeasy.
In New York or
in Harlem?
In Harlem,
yeah. I don't know that it exists anymore.
Right. So where do you see the future of this series going? I mean, right now it's Black History Month, so you've got that focus. Where do you see it going?
Well, every week, Amy publishes a different Overlooked, and so really it goes all throughout the year, and I think we're looking towards...
We're collaborating, perhaps, to do something for Pride Month.
Right.
Really, the possibilities are endless. We could do anything with this, but it's definitely continuing through the end of 2019.
And it's multi-platform now, is that right?
Yeah.
Veronica, can you tell us about that?
Sure. I mean, we have both the digital and the print, and...
It's becoming a TV show now.
Incredible. Where can we watch it?
We don't know yet. We're still figuring that out.
But you're both involved. Yeah, let's see. I vote for you both to be involved. Yes. So is there anything sort of that for each of you that in other stories that resonated personally? Veronica?
I think that, you know, I think a lot about creativity. And when we were putting this together, we realized that almost all of the people in this profile had either been born into slavery or had parents who were slaves. And so the idea of, you know, we think about Black history, what do you create when the people you came from had no choice in their day-to-day life? And so, I don't know, for me that, there's just like a very gratitude moment of realizing how much freedom we really have.
I mean, you look at it, it's also beautifully done, the graphic here, I was just reading through it, all of these little blurbs. She killed her own daughter rather than let her be enslaved.
Yes.
That's just astounding to hear.
Margaret Garner, she was the inspiration for Toni Morrison's Beloved.
Veronica Chambers and Amy Padnani of the New York Times, thanks to both of you for sharing all your fantastic work on this series with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.